It's almost crazy to imagine how much information there is on the internet. On YouTube alone, where you are watching this, approximately 500 hours of video are uploaded every single minute. While much of the World Wide Web is full of mundane, harmless content, there is also a lot of weird stuff, and sometimes some really dark or bizarre websites that are even hard to comprehend. This is a video detailing such Japanese sites. Since my last video was a very heavy, in-depth one, I thought I would change things up a little and do another internet mystery style video. Don't worry, my focus will always be on true crime incidents, but in between larger projects that demand an intense amount of research and translation, I think lighter-hearted, less serious content can also be interesting. If you're a returning viewer or someone new to the channel, welcome. I make videos on Japanese cases, strange, solved and unsolved. If that sounds like something you think you'll find interesting, please consider subscribing and turning on notifications. In any case, let's get on with the video. Sometime in 2004, a strange GeoCities website known as Iruka no Yume de Sayonara, or Goodbye Dolphin Dreams, suddenly appeared on the internet. Once stumbled upon, people took to message boards and forums to ask others about it. Someone, please reveal the details of Goodbye Dolphin Dreams. I searched for it, but I am a chicken and couldn't look at it. Does anyone know anything about Goodbye Dolphin Dreams? What is Goodbye Dolphin Dreams? Please give me the details. Mutterings of this website began to spread, but at that time in the early days of the internet, few knew the URL or were too worried to check it out for themselves. So what was it? Since the Japanese version of GeoCities was shut down in 2019, the site was closed, and although you can still use the Wayback Machine to access it, much of the content doesn't work as it did back then, particularly the sound effects. Fortunately, however, there is still old footage available. Goodbye Dolphin Dreams opens to an almost completely white screen. In the middle, there is a crudely drawn image of a young girl in what appears to be a Japanese school outfit. As you can see, she's drawn in the art style of a manga character. A high-pitched voice sounds when visiting the homepage. When the cursor is moved over the image, it can be clicked, and with each click, it is almost as though a blow is being struck to the character. After a certain number of clicks, there is nothing more than a stain left accompanied by a jingle. This stain seems to be in the shape of a dolphin, which I wonder is what the website got its name from. It could just be a coincidence though. The voice heard before then sounds again. And now the clicks have the opposite effect, seemingly reversing the process until the website returns to the state it was when first entered. Now if the image is clicked an additional time, the jingle starts again, and the image is suddenly magnified to fill the screen. Clicking again takes the viewer to a new screen. It has a plain white background as before, but there are small black boxes moving from right to left. These boxes can also be clicked on, but there's no indication of where they'll take you. Since they move at speed, it is actually not as easy as it seems for the people who took these recordings. Clicking on the first square shows this, a seemingly feminine hand twisted in a strange way with weirdly shaped nails. It's as though the hand is pressed against glass or the screen of the viewer's computer. A voice also sounds here. The identity of Mizuki is unknown. We will talk about the site owner later, but as far as we know, Mizuki is not their name, so who this audio is referring to is a mystery. Clicking the image once more takes the viewer back to the squares page. The second square is a series of photos taken of pieces of physical paper with a crudely drawn manga upon them. The letters are not the most legible, leading to some jokes about what is written, but it goes something like this. My name is Sarina. I'm going to introduce you to my friend now. I suppose this is the same cartoon girl seen in the previous images. Ta-da! This is Milfy, pleased to meet you. Milfy appears to be the name of a stuffed rabbit toy, and an unfortunate one at that given the English meaning of this word. There is then an image showing the backside of Milfy, with the speech bubble for the sound indicating flatulence, sort of like the word toot. This precedes an image of both Sarina and Milfy with awkward blank expressions on their faces. The next image shows Sarina angry at Milfy, screaming, "You farted, you're the worst, you're not my friend." She then shouts, "Please die," followed by something else that is illegible, but could be the sound of a scream. In her hands is an axe, and then, well, see it for yourself. Sarina then faces back towards the reader and says, "I did something that I shouldn't have," before finishing with something quite dark. "I need to perform seppuku." In case you cannot guess what that final word is, it is the Japanese word for an act that some samurai would perform to rid themselves of the shame of defeat in their final moments. The panel then changes into what is believed to be the drawing of innards before a final image with nothing but the words, "The end," is displayed. Clicking the image will take the viewer back to the screen with the black squares. The third black square opens this, a zoomed in blurry image of the girl that seems to be the running theme of this website. I guess from the manga, her name is Sarina, except now her eyes are red and her mouth is agape. Clicking on it causes the face to become all distorted and a strange whispering sound to be played. The fourth black square is something I'm not going to show, not because it is disturbing, but because it's designed to irritate the viewer's eyes or trigger people with photosensitivity. Instead, I'll show a still image. Usually the square rapidly flashes blue and red. Accompanying this is an obnoxious melody. You can check it out for yourself if you want, but you aren't missing anything and I discourage it. The fifth square takes the viewer to a series of seemingly nonsensical hyperlinks. The hyperlinks all lead to strange music, sounds, or chiptune pieces when clicked on. The top says background, behind the scenes, or behind you. Perhaps this is the page that could give us some answers to the website's purpose or origins. The line below is not something I can really say directly, but in a more rude way, it says human solid waste from, well, a particular area of a woman, if you catch my drift. Quite vulgar and childish. Under that it says, "I'm 17 years old," beside a crudely written word that may be buta, meaning pig. And below that, the word die is written repeatedly. Next is the word medicine under a dotted line. We can then read what seems to be some sort of confession. "Even now I still like you. I think of you every day." Following that is goodbye, mouth, and then the character she, which could be a reference to the kanji meaning death. I'm not sure what to make of this page generally, but some have interpreted it to be like a sad final message. Going back to the other page, the sixth square opens up a screen of many black squares, only this time they seem to be pulsating or growing and shrinking in size while scattered around in a nonsensical manner. When clicking on a square here, they flash a variety of cityscape images in quick succession. It's hard to make out where the pictures come from or what they even are. Another square shows the aforementioned blue and black flashing square, so again I won't be showing that one. One also opens up the image of a plaster with "Goodbye Dolphin Dreams" written upon it, along with a red stain to indicate that it has been used. Going back to the main square page and clicking on the seventh one, it features an image of a tulip with music playing in the background. Clicking this image changes the screen to display the ominous character she, meaning death, over and over. The characters seem to be moving and continuing on as you scroll the page. And finally, the following squares contain links to some websites, some of which are aimed towards adults and therefore not something I can show on this platform. Others are now the defunct websites of artists such as Ryuko Azuma. And that is it in a nutshell, a nonsensical website. So who made it and why? While it was confusing for people who stumbled upon it a long time ago, it didn't take long for the administrator to be discovered, especially because one of the aforementioned links linked to a particular person's website. It was made by Atols, or ATOLS, a Vocaloid producer who has been known in the Japanese music industry for many years. Atols made the website in their early teens to practice website creation in HTML, and his purpose seems to be just to confuse and shock the viewer rather than anything particularly malicious. When the website was moved to FC2 in 2019, a different website hosting service popular in Japan, a YouTube channel of the same name was created, and some music videos were added to the new clone website that can easily be accessed since it is still up. It seems that the music is quite unconventional, but looking at the YouTube comments, it has a very dedicated fanbase. The music is available on many popular music providers like Spotify and SoundCloud too, and the Goodbye Dolphin Dreams website updated to include a merch store after getting rid of the links to weird adult sites. It's actually quite creative stuff, so check out the website or YouTube channel if you're curious. While somewhat strange, this website is not something I would consider scary or disturbing at all. It just seems like some innocent fun, and an attempt to creep out the viewer a little bit during the early days of the internet, save for the flashing boxes that are very annoying. The next website we will discuss, however, dials things up a little. As with the first website, talk of this one started with inquisitive posts on message forums in the early 2000s. I found a weird website on Nichan. This is the scariest thing of all. nicedayfineday.org. Curse, 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 curse. nicedayfineday.org. The strange images are unfair. Scared. Why does this exist? Did a human make this? Or maybe. I learned of this site from Hetena and thought it was somewhat scary, or rather, it was really scary. What's more, the browser crashed when I tried to refresh it just now. I'm frightened. Did the cursed website really exist? This is about the cursed website netizens have been talking about recently. It's even become an urban legend. The website itself is a pure white screen, and if you scroll down, there's an image of some shrine torii gates. If you do not find those same torii gates in real life, it is said you'll be cursed. I think they're probably somewhere in Japan. The website also has a bulletin board, and it seems it's filled with messages of sadness and misery. It is said those who read it will be affected as well. Furthermore, it looks like the website administrator has already passed away, but the URL keeps changing, making it impossible to find via a normal search. If there is anyone who has actually seen this website or knows something about it, please reply. Reading these messages, it is clear that Nice Day Fine Day isn't your everyday website. But perhaps more unsettling than these are the 2005 reactions of those who actually visited the site in a thread about the Siren video game. Coincidentally, I made a video in the past that included a trailer about Siren, so check it out if you haven't already. Under the title of My Head Hurts, someone wrote, "This is a site of unknown meaning. I don't know if it has some sort of purpose, but looking at it makes me uneasy. People fine with Siren may be okay with this. It might have viruses, but could someone please tell me what kind of site it is?" And then the following messages seem to be written by those who went to the link provided. "I have a really bad feeling about this. I feel like I'll go crazy. This is not good even for people who are fine with Siren. You'll probably regret it for the rest of your life if you look at the site. I feel really bad. Well, it's a top of the line creepy site, huh? What on earth is its purpose? I will try doing a bit of a thorough search." There are many more comments like this of people's horrified reactions to the site, and we will go back to some later, but I feel like I'm putting things off a bit, so let's just dive in and visit Nice Day Fine Day. As with Goodbye Dolphin Dreams, the original has long since been shut down, so it must be accessed via the Wayback Machine. We'll visit the year when the site was first recorded, 2004. As with the first site we looked at, we are confronted with a mostly white screen. Your attention is likely immediately drawn to the unsettling image in the center, what appears to be a head mostly above water with the body submerged. The water seems to come right up to the person's mouth, but due to the quality of the image, it is hard to make out the details. Directly above the image is a series of verbs: die, kill, curse, cry, shout, struggle, torment, go mad, and squirm. Trying to select any of these does nothing. Scrolling horizontally, above and below both the image and the series of verbs are two lines of words written repeatedly in katakana. The top one says ushiro, meaning behind or behind you, while the bottom one says mita na, you saw it, huh? Although not directly stated, what the it refers to here, I'm not sure. Just when I thought that was it for this section, I found a hidden item, one of many dotted throughout the site. Concealed between the images and the series of verbs is the character kashiri, meaning curse. Below all this is a series of hyperlinks to other pages. We'll come back to those in a minute. But first, there is some text below. It's all stuff I can't really say here, but it's a list of many methods of, well, dying, as well as some other words associated around this dark theme. To give you an idea, I'll read a few of the more tamer ones. Madness, curse, grave, bones, ghost, vengeful spirit, god, poison, mania, and on it goes. If you want to know the full list, I'll leave it up to you to translate if you visit the site. If we scroll back up to the image we saw before, we can actually click on it. Wait a second. Torii gates. The messages on the forums. The website itself is a pure white screen, and if you scroll down, there's an image of some shrine torii gates. If you do not find those same torii gates in real life, it is said you'll be cursed. I have landed on the curse page. I guess that hidden character before was a warning for where the image would take us. Now according to the urban legend, I, and I suppose you too, are cursed. Below the torii gates is some writing in katakana once again. Here it's cold, 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 repeated over and over. Help me, help me, help me, help me, repeated. You too, you too, you too, you too, repeated. Why must I suffer? I'm angry, 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 repeated before changing to sheer curse, 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 repeated. Did you see it? You saw it, huh? You really saw it. You are also cursed, 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 cursed. Writhe in pain, be broken, beg for your life, disappear, die, eat, 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 repeated before bury, 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 tear off, tear off, tear off, tear off, scream, 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 scream. Below this is actually not Japanese, but seemingly traditional Chinese text. Since I cannot read Chinese so well, there are likely a lot of errors in what I'm about to present, but it says something like this. During the meeting, the 8,000 bodhisattvas with new murderous intent created a grudge. It is said that all evil men, I, Ananda, etc., and the Buddha of the Sky Kings were born at the same time, and I have a grudge against the three Buddhas of the sky. The Buddhas who come to protect me, the bodhisattvas who have been converted into Dharma teachings, and who wish to die, are therefore captured. In the face of Ananda, the Buddha's self-hearing teachings and the desire to destroy the land caused a great deal of resentment, and an unprecedented amount of anger was felt in the past. In the young man, countless thousands of billions of monks lived in arithmetic. The number of calculations is incalculable. The incomprehensible evil law lives and lives. The image of life is not lived. The evil law is repeated and passed on, and the evil killing curse is free. If we do not speak of this righteousness, we will curse and destroy, and we will not be able to resolve this foolish age. This was all provided by an online translation service, so I'm not sure what to make of it, and I can't even tell if it's correct or not. My poor English translations don't even make much sense, but I guess the creator is trying to put a religious spin on this curse to make it feel more authentic and creepier. But there is actually even more on this page. Scrolling down further leads to another torii gate image on the other side, except there is something special about this one. If you wait long enough, an onnake no mask fades in and out, catching the viewer unaware. Below this is more text, except it's written backwards. Come here, come here, come here, come here. Disappear, 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 disappear. In the ground it is cold, 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 cold. You too, you too, you too, you too. Burn, 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 burn. It hurts, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. Unhappiness, 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 unhappiness. Followed by words I cannot really say due to their nature. It then shows a lot of words similar to the homepage that are associated with ways of dying. Tamer examples include grudge, ill will, list of names, disgust, etc. With nothing else here I can see, let's go back to the home page. And now let's go deeper and click on the first hyperlink. Maybe we can find some answers. The word is gan, meaning prayer or wish. We enter into a new page not too dissimilar to the home page. It has an image like before with some hyperlinks around, but it is mostly empty. Clicking on the first hyperlink on the title leads to this eerie page. Written over and over this black screen in red text is, "I want to die." There doesn't seem to be anything else here other than this statement, so let's return back to the previous page. Below the title there is this strange image. Honestly, I'm not sure what I'm looking at here. It seems like there is a face somewhere in the blue smudge, but I wonder if it's just my brain trying to find one, like pareidolia. While moving the cursor down the page, I noticed it changed, hinting at some hidden text. Sure enough, highlighting the page reveals some secrets similar to the curse character on the first page. The title shows many of the prayer or wish characters written repeatedly. Nothing too strange, unlike the following broken text. "I'm behind you. I am right behind you. I'm looking from above. It's cold here. It's warm there. I'm going. I'm watching. I'm gonna talk." If we scroll down, there is one final message. "I am already here." Going back up and clicking on the image takes us to a screen with a broken flash animation. Unfortunately, there is no way of knowing what it was now, but I wonder if the idea of not knowing is creepier than actually seeing it. Going back up and clicking on the "It is warm" hyperlink takes us to this. There are two distorted images of Hina dolls. Hina dolls are displayed during Hinamatsuri, or Girls' Festival, on March 3rd, and symbolize prayers for health and happiness of daughters. These dolls are often passed down through generations within a family. They are also said to protect against misfortune, and even receive bad luck in place of the doll owner. Hidden above and written in red text below is the same disturbing text as the home page. The Hina doll image among the red text is actually a GIF file, and if you wait long enough, it flashes for a brief second, seemingly in an attempt to scare the viewer. At the top of the page is another hyperlink with a lot of religious words including Jizo, spirit, and God. Clicking this shows a page full once again of Chinese text. Like before, I cannot read this so well and there is a lot of it, but it seems to be Buddhist verses or mantras detailing things like the afterlife. Scrolling down reveals another hyperlink. Clicking it shows a white page with the character "she" meaning death sporadically placed on its side around the page. Once again there is hidden text that can be highlighted, this time in Japanese, but it almost doesn't make sense. It comes across like the ramblings of a crazy person, but it touches on themes of sexuality and spirituality. Unlike the other pages, there is another hyperlink taking us deeper into this site. It is one of many characters representing a scream. Clicking it takes us to a black screen. The title of this page means "Wriggle, Legs, Scratch." Below appears to be a message forum. Is this the forum where the stories of sadness and misery are written? Not exactly. It seems these comments are from visitors to the site like myself, and are mostly congratulating the creator for their bizarre creation, although there are indeed some posts like the top one saying, "I want to die too." At the top is a box where visitors can write their message, and the number in the top left seems to be a visitor counter. It looks like this is a bit of a dead end, so let's go back to the home page. The second hyperlink here is called Maibo, or list of names. Clicking it takes us to a blank screen titled, "I will curse you." On the right side is a list of names written in katakana in red and white. The red names are crossed out, and according to some comments I've seen online, these names belong to people who have perished from the curse, and the white names are people who are awaiting the same fate. There is nowhere to go from here, so again let's return to the home page. The third hyperlink on the home page is titled Message or Rumor. Clicking it takes us here, a white screen with a broken image in the middle and some red text. Around the red text is an ominous hidden message, "Let's play," and also another "Behind you" message. There is no telling what the broken image used to be, but it can still be clicked on. Okay, pretty strange to say the least. There's a hyperlink on this page too. This takes us to another broken flash animation with nothing else, so let's go back to the home page. The fourth link is entitled Baku, meaning bind. Clicking this reveals a disturbing image of a person's face with various effects applied to it. Clicking on the face takes us to a blank page with scrolling, nonsensical text in the middle. If we go back to the previous page and scroll down, we can see another hyperlink with many R characters representing a screen. Clicking this takes us to, well, see for yourself. I have to say, seeing this for the first time late at night was actually very creepy, especially with the groan at the end. The images are bizarre, disturbing, and eerily normal all at once. We have the images of a doll with a crushed plastic head, an image of a Hina doll, images of a boy playing a drum, images of dark times in human history, an image of people at a cafe, an image of a Nor mask with red spider legs, images of cats, an image of a knight's helm with a puppet or doll, an image of workers on power lines, an image of a Japanese woman, images of a Japanese couple on their wedding day, an image of some building, maybe a shrine bathed in purple, an image of climbers on a snowy mountain, an image of a Buddhist religious statue, an image of some kind of storefront, some writing that says something like "murder is bad," an image of what looks like a Jizo statue but I can't be sure, and an image of a young Japanese man in glasses. The images of the wedding and woman are actually creepier for me than some of the conventionally scarier images shown, since they seem like something taken from a personal photo collection or something. I don't know, there's something weird and almost intrusive about them. But while they may not look it, what is truly disturbing are these two images. Sadly, I recognize these two, and they are related to something really, really horrifying. This is Jun Matsubara. In 2002, when he was 26 years old, he captured the stray cat you see in the other image in his neighborhood in Fukuoka. He then took sick photographs of himself torturing the poor animal for 4 hours and posting them on Nichan under the disgusting username Oscar Dilavanga. Fortunately, he was reported and caught, but the authorities were extremely lenient, sentencing him only to a 6-month suspended prison term. It was reduced because Jun's personal details had been leaked after the incident, and so the judge felt that Jun had already endured social punishments that had gone too far. With that added context of this evil man, the video becomes even darker. Going back to the previous page and scrolling down reveals more text. You found it. Right at the bottom is another hyperlink with the text, "I'm home." Clicking this hyperlink takes us to a page with 4 sets of red and blue kanji in a pattern. The kanji mean demon, curse, and god. The god characters are hyperlinks that lead to dead ends. I'm not sure what was behind the links, but they no longer work and contain errors, so there is nothing to see. There is actually hidden text on this page too. The kanji for founder or ancestor is also grouped with the ones you can actually see. Unless I'm overlooking something, this seems to be all that there is on this page, so let's return once again to the home page. If we scroll down and look towards the right of the block of text, we can see a small broken item and another hidden hyperlink. Clicking the broken item takes the users to a rental service for the internet service provider FC2. Being an external separate site to Nice Day Fine Day, there is nothing interesting there. The text for the hyperlink, partially hidden, spells victim. Clicking it opens a screen full of the character she, death, except turned on its side. Right at the bottom of the page is a final hyperlink. The word used is naraka, which I'm not sure of the meaning of, and here is another video. Since this one has text in it, I've added English translations, but they move quite fast, so it may be hard to read without pausing. It starts off with some chimes and ominous chanting. I'm no expert, but it sounds like some religious praying over creepy music, which is a running theme. The Japanese was very hard to decipher honestly, but it appears to be Okinawa dialect. The Majimun is actually a type of yokai or Japanese ghost. The video first shows red lights on the screen, followed by what appears to be a well, some hole in the ground. It then cuts to some mountains before an old man's smiling, stretched face appears. Next we see a Jizo statue that gets crossed out with red strokes. We then see a dirty gravestone, and finally a blank red screen. And there we have it, that is the site Nice Day Fine Day, or at least what I could find looking at it myself. So who created this and why? I briefly mentioned about the site administrator throughout this segment, but he was thought to have been bullied in the past, and those on the list are the names of the bullies he has cursed. It is also said that he passed away. However, it appears those rumors were false. On the Subaru's website, the supposed administrator of Nice Day Fine Day responded to an article detailing the website. This brings back memories. I made this website a long time ago. Before the server closed down, I had to change the URL. Maybe this explains the rumors of a changing URL. By the way, I made it on Maho Island at first, but it was deleted after being reported by someone. This predecessor was just Nice Day, and after the rental service stopped, I rented another server and made it Nice Day Fine Day. The page I thought about most was the Maibo, or list of names page. I just listed the names of people in katakana, but it was this page that updated most. For operating systems older than Windows 98, the username of the PC accessing the website would be displayed here, but since Windows XP was already popular at the time, it never really became a point of discussion. The images and sounds that I used are things I found online, but the final groan sound in that one flash video is me. I know it is in bad taste, but I wanted to create a place that was scary but safe, like a haunted house. When I changed my PC, I lost all my data and passwords, so I couldn't update it anymore. By the way, as others had said, I was glad to set up the bulletin board. I remember feeling happy when seeing all the messages on it and seeing how much people looked at the site. So yeah, if the comments are to be believed, the site administrator is alive and well, and made the site to be an online haunted house for people to come to get spooked. The pictures he used were indeed taken from various websites and other materials, some of which have been identified in the Subaru article, such as the images of the Jizo statue and grave which were taken from a site about Osorezan, and the image of the floating head, which is actually from a book covering supposed ghost photos. But the most important image of all, the image of the Torii gates, was also lifted from the internet. It was taken from a travel website about the Hanazono Shrine in Shinjuku, Tokyo, except run through a filter and trimmed slightly. And sure enough, Hanazono Shrine is where these very Torii gates are located. So if there truly is a curse on this site for those who see the image, this is where one needs to go. It's a shame we never got to see what the flash animations were, but I suppose along with a lot of the old internet, they are lost forever. And unlike Goodbye Dolphin Dreams, I cannot find any old footage. While these sites are weird and have some incomprehensible or even dark aspects to them, they seem to have been made more for creating a thrilling, albeit scary experience for visitors. In the early 2000s, Japanese horror movies like Ring and Pulse were all extremely popular, and so creepy, so-called cursed websites inspired by this horror sprung up all over the internet. Honestly, they're quite tame compared to some other websites out there, especially those you hear about on the dark web, but I always appreciate the creativity and innocent fun behind them. Thank you for watching my 48th YouTube video. If you liked it, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you wish to see more videos like this about Japan. Although I don't really believe in curses or ghosts or anything like that, I do enjoy creepy fiction and videos about sites such as these. I like that these sites are more just innocent fun to creep out the viewer rather than anything malicious. These very websites have actually been covered by a few other great YouTubers too, including old friend of the channel Lazy Masquerade, so please do check out their work too. Anyway, that's enough from me. Until next time, goodbye.